You're listening to the podcast that changed the game and rocked an entire profession. Talking about shit in law enforcement that keeps poor leaders up at night. When others run scared and hide behind fake policies, the Roll Call Room podcast tells it like it is. No bullshit. No matter how hard these thieves try, we keep killing it. And now, here are your hosts, Nick and Mark.
Welcome to another episode of the Roll Call Room. I am one of your hosts, Nick. With me is the head of the SNAP program for dispersing food. He is refusing to fund any more SNAP programs. Mark, how are you, buddy?
Yes. Good morning, or hello to all of you that are joining us.
They don't know it's like 6 a.m.
Yeah. Ask crack of dawn when we do these. But
do you remember coming off duty at this time, and now we start our life at this time? Isn't that a little weird? That's so weird. Can you stay up late anymore?
Oh yeah. We were up till and late for me is 10:30.
Gee, dude, that's
10:30 used to be. We're just getting rolling now. Let's go ahead and get into some shit. Dude,
after 8 p.m. now, I've become like a major bitch. Like I'm just cranky, and I'm like, I want to fucking go to bed. Like I feel like I'm old. Like I think Florida has turned me into an old man. It really has too.
Yeah.
I'm but people the middle finger. Driving, like it's bad.
But did you notice it gets darker quicker here in Florida than it does up north?
It's been cold.
Yes, that too. But I've been talking to Susan about on the back porch, and she's like, "It's still light there." Yeah, it is. Just that whole curvature of the earth thing. So, but yeah.
Well, no,
welcome,
I don't.
Everyone, thank you for listening.
I don't believe in that.
Every one of you. What?
I believe the earth is. I believe the earth is flat. I am.
Yeah. Right.
I don't subscribe to your curved earth. I don't care how many pictures you show me of it curved.
Right.
It's flat. It's flat like some people's integrity. And I feel like I need to, we had a couple of topics that we want to talk about, but we've come to a place where we are reaching out to other podcast people, and I use the term podcasters lightly, to bring on folks onto the show. And I think some people mistake some of the guests that we have on that we align with those people. We may agree on certain pieces of what they believe, but we don't sit there and have a shrine up to the people that we have on this show and say, hey, I'm going to emulate everything.
Right.
Not the case. And I think fairly recently inviting a couple of people on that have given bullshit reasons not to come on, and they may be legitimate. I'm a cranky person because I'm in Florida now, and I automatically exactly. I automatically go towards the other end, which is like, I think you're full of shit, and you should just tell the truth. Like, hey, listen, I don't want to go on your show. You're not hurting my feelings. You don't want to be in front of 25,000 people on YouTube. Hey, listen, that's your journey. You keep racking up 200-300 viewers. I mean, that's whatever.
Sounds like my first show.
Yeah, jeez.
Well, but we invite people on. Doom scrolling does have a purpose, and I do it usually at 4:00 in the morning. And that's what retirement looks like for all you guys in law enforcement. And you try to find people that are interesting or topical, or what's hot in the news, because what's hot today isn't hot tomorrow. But what I want to remind you all, that RCR is the OG. And above all, I don't want to stand here and say, here's Big Daddy or Big Brother saying, look, this was I think the first real police podcast. And to look at everything else, not that people aren't out there doing good work, because there's a lot of good work out there, but there's some crap too. However, to spread the message and to shine some light on others that are topical at the time. But that's where the invite comes from. So it's not like we're desperate for people to come on. Like Nick got an email the other day, and those are my favorites, where this guy is clearly a multicolored flag, left-leaning person. And we are owed to Hulk Hogan and our president. We are very conservative on this show. And Nick, he forwards me this email. He's like, what does these fucking people think we do here?
Oh, you're talking about the person? There was a publicist that reached out to me that their client made a Trump cartoon book making fun of his first 100 days. Mm-hmm. And they clearly did not do any research before reaching out. And they reached out to the publicist, the email for RCR, and they were like, we want to have this person on your show. I regret answering that. I should have set up that interview, because it would have been priceless to lay into this person. And my reply back to them was just like 2 sentences. Why the fuck would we have you on this show? Right. You clearly are suffering from TDS, and I got no response back. So I'm figuring that person was like, this is
for those of you out there, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
No, go ahead.
Those of you out there that are on LinkedIn and you see these people that are going to inbox you randomly, hey, I'll get you more listeners or get you on more show. You're just paying them to do what you can do on your own. So,
absolutely.
You see anybody's got a show, send us an email. That's why we have emails out there. And I get them for the Shield Within all the time. Yeah. People that's like, oh, this guy was this, and this, and it's like, it has nothing to do with mental health, which is what that show is strictly all about. Yeah. This show, RCR is more, I don't know, we do the same thing here, mental health, but I think a lot more entertainment. But, we have people on, trust us when we say where I'm going with this, is we have people all the time asking to come on. Yeah. And if we invite you on, I would put the weight behind that it deserves. I feel anyway, because just like Nick said, on YouTube alone, we were 31,000 views that last episode.
Yeah, last episode was a banger, man. I don't remember what we talked about. I think Alzheimer's is kicking in.
Well, we got a little fan feedback last week, and my one friend that we talked about an agency where they can't keep their jail open because their management philosophy is poor. And he texted me and he said, bro, you are spot on. Well, it's obvious to everybody, but the people that are on the inside. I mean, sometimes you have to take an objective outside look at yourself. And we were talking about leadership roles. And when I first got promoted, my boss at the time, who was a terrible boss, led me down the wrong path, meaning there was absolutely, this guy didn't have and I quote another person that says that guy didn't have a leadership bone in his body, and he didn't. The way you think about being a sergeant when you get promoted, there should be like a preschool before you're ever exposed. Would you agree with that?
I 1000% agree with that.
Did Alexandria kind of like take you aside and say, okay, tell me what you think you're going to do when you get promoted, and now let me show you the reality? No. And they didn't. And how long did it take you to kind of get your groove on?
I don't think I was I think I was trying to be a good sergeant the first 6 months to a year. And instead of just...
What does that mean, though? What do you
I
mean by
think
I
I
want to
was
be a good sergeant?
overtly over overcompensating and trying to. I had a struggle with going from buddy to boss, and I was really struggling. And it was when I started to struggle, when I started to actually read leadership books, and I realized I don't have to try and be something that I'm not. And this isn't tooting my own horn. You have the same ability, which is you have a God given talent of being a good leader, or somebody that people look up to. And I didn't have confidence in myself that that was the case.
Oh,
And
good
I
point.
got one of the most. This person's a complete asshole, so I need to give that preface.
Hey, I'm
Um,
sitting right here.
I managed this really, really difficult officer. Bless you. I managed this very difficult officer, um, and later on realized that he really shouldn't be wearing the badge. He came into my office, I think, a little bit after a year, and was like, "Hey, listen, I just wanted to pay you a compliment." And I was like, "All right, cool. I'm always good for that, you know." And he's like,
Mhm.
I always thought you were a shitty cop, but you're a great supervisor. This is your niche. And it was kind of like
Wow.
a 50-50 compliment. It was like, I fucking thought you were a terrible cop. And I had a terrible reputation as a police officer because I was aggressive, not aggressive
Mhm.
in the sense where I was, doing shit that I shouldn't be doing, but I was always getting into something. If it was a 12-hour shift, I was working 12 hours hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of officers didn't like that. They didn't like that they had to, uh, put their Sudoku book down and come back me up because I was out there fucking, doing traffic stops, doing subject stops. It wasn't
Right.
uncommon for me to send a group message out to my group and be like, "Hey, listen, there's nothing on the radio. Anybody want to go do foot patrol in the hood?"
Right.
And it would be crickets. And I'd be like, that wouldn't stop me. I wouldn't turn around and go, "Oh, well, nobody wants to join me, so I'm just going to sit and do nothing." No, I got out of the car and I started walking around. And then all of a sudden you'd hear, 323 foot pursuit. And then they would get pissed because they didn't want to come do foot patrol when I wanted to do foot patrol. They now have to come and back me up, and they would be pissed. So to answer your question, long winded, I think the first year um, I think I was feeling around in the dark, and I didn't have a mentor.
Mhm.
Like I didn't have a
Right.
good.
Oh God, there it is.
There it
Key word.
is.
Go.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody to emulate because, and I didn't realize this at the time. That should have been the red flag right there. That there wasn't a lot of sergeants that I wanted to turn around and emulate and look up to. They were, "Hey, you're out there too much." Shit, dude, I got sat down by my captain the first couple of months of being a sergeant, being told that I'm not allowed to do traffic stops anymore.
Hmm.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, she was a fucking terrible captain too, piece of shit. Um, and so she's like, "What if you do a traffic stop and that results in you having to go to booking with the person?" And I go, "Well, that's happened." And she goes,
So
"Well, while you're in booking, who's out there supervising your people?" I go, "There's two other sergeants working. What are you talking about?" Like,
yeah,
everything was
there's
an argument. But
and some people are just that way. And
yeah.
but to circle back, it took me about 2 years to figure it out,
Wow.
and a
Yeah.
lot of advice. And I realized real quick that at any time I went to my chief at the time and asked him for a leadership question, he led me down the wrong path and pointed me in the wrong direction, and it was always a disaster. So then I started confiding in other chiefs, and they were like, "Oh no, you never want to do that. Why would he tell you that?"
Yeah.
Those were my responses. And I'm like, "Okay, so how should I do it?" And the one chief, Ron Hess, he was more of a mentor and a great friend. And he just broke it down very simply. He was a chief of a department that was bigger than ours, and also when he was a lieutenant and higher, and I think that's how all the farther he went there. That was an even bigger department than that. So, it's those personalities that you need to learn to navigate when you're in supervision. So we were talking about, excuse me, leadership the other day and the difference between leadership and management. And some of my advanced students, we were speaking, and they were talking about how now in the world, because when discipline's issued, it's discipline first, ask questions later. You know, you broke this rule. Bam, here's your paper. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, really? And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, not in my day. In my day, if we're back at the desk and you're getting paper, we've already fucking talked about it, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the 5th time we've talked about it. And I said, okay, we're done. Okay, you're not learning. So I'm going to give you a little reward here. And they're like, oh, no, that's not how it is today, Sarge.
Yeah,
And
it's more CYOA now.
Really?
Yeah, it's more CYOA. I could see that because, you know, I think the new leadership that's going into law enforcement obviously has been infiltrated by the left, and their philosophy is, police reform. And what does that mean, police reform? To you, police reform, to you and I, police reform should start at the top and start getting some chiefs of police that actually have done the job. Like, not these folks that have been passed around from police department to police department to police department, and now they come into your police department and they bring the same infectious, toxic work environment from the last 6 places that they worked.
Or the fast tracker.
Right.
The guy that was on patrol for a year, got promoted.
Oh, yeah.
The good test takers that have never, and even the people that work patrol with them, it's like, you get in a bar fight or whatever, and like, where's this guy at? Oh, he's outside watching the cruisers. What? We don't need a fucking cruisers watch. Get your ass in here.
Or they have a master's or a PhD, and that, it always, I see on LinkedIn all the time, I see deputy chief positions and chief positions, and I always scroll down to the job like the qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
It just astounds me that they harp so much on a bachelor's or better for you to do that job, and the best degree that you can get is on the street. The best
absolutely.
degree, like if you can deal
how long
with
were you in patrol?
Right, like it always made me laugh. Like the city or the county would hire a chief of police and do a quote unquote background check on this person.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I in the field can do a better background investigation by basically reaching out to the other department that this knucklehead's coming from and speak to their union representatives and say, hey, listen, what was Mark like working with? And they'll tell you the honest, raw truth. They'll be like, this guy is a fucking morale killer. This guy, this guy will go from 0 to Bic pen in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's what the profession is turning into. It's more of, are you doing the job the right way, and are you doing it in good faith, and is honest intent, like, is that being considered? And it isn't, which is if the policy says you must wear your seatbelt, then if I see you without your seatbelt, I'm going to fucking write you up the first shot. And you're doing that with the wrong generation, man. The new generation that's coming in, these folks, man, you fucking tell them they got wrinkles in their shirts, they're already looking for another job. Like they ain't waiting for the second time.
Right. And where the profession is today, that job is easily found. Mm-hmm. When I first got in, you didn't shop around a lot. Well, you did shop around, but it's like, man, it'd be nice to work over there, I think. But the odds of getting there, and the agency I was with, I mean, nobody left. They didn't leave because they were happy. They didn't leave because they had good leadership. They didn't leave because they were paid well. You know, they got new equipment. So new equipment, paid well, good leadership. Why the fuck would you leave? I mean, hell, you'd stay there till you physically couldn't do that job anymore.
Yeah.
But where I'm going at with this is there's a difference between accountability and the human factor. And what I think that management today, not leadership, has lost is the human factor. We all make mistakes. Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. If you don't have that seatbelt on, hey, Mike or whatever your name is. See, I threw the mic in there like that.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Mike,
like it.
I noticed today when I passed you on Main Street, you didn't have your belt on. Any reason for that? Oh
Yeah,
man, no, I just left wherever and I just forgot to put it on. Okay, well let's be sure we do that. And
yeah.
here's why. That's it. Whereas the guys are telling me now, like, oh no, you're getting paper out of that.
Yeah.
So they are more afraid of doing they're I don't want to say this. They're afraid of showing up.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
That's
Like,
the point. We're just afraid that the uniform's straight and I got my seatbelt on and I'm doing this and this because everyone's out there looking to rip you. Now we throw in the body cam thing.
oh, I was just gonna
One of
say
them
that.
asked me, go ahead with yours point, then I'll come.
No, I mean the body cams are really like if you get one of those folks that you're talking about, one of those sergeants, lieutenants, or captains, man, they will sit there and they will watch body cam footage of you and just you, and you don't have to go far for directive violations. You don't have to go
Yeah,
far.
right.
One curse word, rude and discourteousess.
Oh yeah. And you can be in the car by yourself.
Oh yeah, and you could turn that into a termination, which is you pull the person in, you do an interview on them, and you say, "Hey, listen, have you ever cursed at a suspect?" Maybe I don't know. I mean,
I drive down the street cussing at people,
yeah,
so I don't do it when I'm in front of them. It's
man,
that relief, right?
it's
You stupid fucking idiot! What are you doing? So we got good afternoon, sir. I'm Sergeant so and so.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a it's a buyer's market too right now in law enforcement, which is like you said, agencies are gobbling people up that are doing lateral moves. And I don't think it was the way that it was when back when you were a cop. If you did a lateral transfer, did they scrutinize your lateral?
Everything.
Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore.
And the
man.
reason why is laterals were someone else's problem.
Right. Why are you trying to get away?
Why are you moving? And that and Tom Davidson always said that. He said, I don't like laterals because all I'm getting is someone else's problem.
Yeah.
And that proved itself several times with us.
Yeah.
This one guy we ended up hiring, he was about to get fired at his former agency, and they held back that information.
Well, they wanted to get rid of him.
Sure. Well, but someone in the command staff chain had a little empathy for him because he was once a good guy, and I think he remembered that of him. Oh no, we'll put all this in his file after he leaves. He had some pretty outrageous stuff going on, which was all tied right back to unresolved trauma. And I can tell you my personal experience. The bad decisions I was making without unresolved trauma, just horrendous, out of character decision making that I did in my personal life, everything I did to run a wrecking ball through that. And very similar, and when the guy finally got to us, those problems followed them down there because he wasn't taking care of his mental health. And that's where, we as sergeants, you're neither management nor patrol. So you're neither friend nor foe, but you need to walk that line. And you are that buffer between management and them, and they need to understand that. And one of the most wonderful comments that my relief sergeant gave me after he and I left was that one of his officers called him and said, "Oh my God, we had no idea how much interference you ran for us, because the guy that replaced him, total fucking pogue. Just nope. I'm gonna go do the deputy chief with everything, and it was always throw the hammer at the officers instead of going to the chief. No, we're good. Only time we ever went to them was when here's the problem, here's how we handled it, and here's the resolution. They got it at the end. We never ever involved them in the early stages of any situation because we knew their reaction. So it was more or less management through fear and intimidation versus leading through compassion. And I don't know, it's a little bit of love because, a lot of those, my folks like the Kelly, still friends with her today. Dan, still friends with him today, and Jimmy, we're all still friends. And hell, I've been gone almost 5 years, which I think that's wonderful.
That's a testament. Like I wish there's probably, I can count on one hand, like you, there's quite a few that I wish would have stayed in contact with me after I left. And it's heartbreaking because, and I've said it on this show before, they wouldn't even be cops if it wasn't for the interference that I ran as a sergeant.
Oh yes,
Like,
absolutely. Amen.
you know, one of them's in vice narcotics right now. The other one's a sergeant right now. Like,
Mhm.
you wouldn't be a cop if it wasn't some of the interference that I ran, and terminable offenses. It just
Yeah,
it astounds
I thought
me.
about it's framing, guys. How
Yeah.
does the sergeant frame this as you hand it up, right? And we all make mistakes, and that's the
Mhm.
biggest thing. It's how do we take care of that? Because you're a good person, you just made a bad decision. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're not going to sit here and hammer you and take away pay because
Mhm.
you need to be able to support your family, and I want you to have a good positive mental attitude after this disciplinary
Yeah.
portion. All right, and it always ended with, "Hey, let's go get a cup of coffee, or let's go hang out, or whatever." And if you're a little raw, I picked up that energy. Hey, man, get some time to think about this. Call me,
Yeah.
or stop over at the house, or whatever. Let's talk about this because this isn't personal.
No.
If I want to
This
make it
too
personal,
will
we get personal
pass.
all fucking day long. Oh yeah, it's like, bro, stop. No, most of the time they were like, "Yeah, I understand," but there's some things that are still a little raw with um, my folks today. But they were bad decisions that I made, and I said, "Oh, I agree with you. I'm still pissed off at myself today over that."
Yeah.
But and on the other side of the coin, you got to let that go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking about recent trends, what the fuck? Did you see that article from Cleveland?
Which one? Cleveland's
There's
really.
a PIO. I texted it to you. I don't know if you'd take a
Mhm.
minute here while I'm rambling on. That's out talking about how the city of Cleveland, who's under a consent decree, by the way, city of Cleveland, throw those people out of your department. They're driving around with their rear lights on their patrol
Oh
cars.
yeah, yeah. You did send me that.
Why? Why? So you're sitting there in traffic and you look up and you see lights flashing. Oh, must have a crash. Oh, no, we don't have a crash. To me, that'd be confusing as hell. And with the
Washington
rear light,
D.C. has done that forever.
yeah, but it's blue, low beam, steady burn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
that
is
they've done
weird.
that forever, and that's kind of where I thought that's not a bad idea. Because in my city, we ran the Wayland Liberty Bar, and I was the light bar geek. I was the guy. We were small enough, and I was talented enough to where I built the cruisers, right? So send them out to an upfitter, and we had the Wayland has cruise lights.
Hmm.
Flip a button, and just the corners, low burn, low
Yeah.
intensity, steady burn, not flashing. And we had a guy say, "I never see cops in my neighborhood." So I figured out who that guy was and in his neighborhood. So I'd hit the cruise lights at night, not during the day, and drive around. And I go by his house and I hit the air horn. Wah, wah. He'd wave.
We're
He
here.
was happy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, happy as hell. So like, well, if you're trying to sneak up on people, it's like, no, that's not the point. I'm with the guy that's standing there or walking through the living room and look out and they see a car go by and they see red blues on top. Oh, that's the police. They're in my neighborhood. That's good.
Yeah.
But with the actual whole back of the bar on, I don't get that. That's
Yeah.
what
Good
I'm
luck.
confused.
Good luck doing a jump out with the fucking bat signal on the fucking back of your car. Like, um,
Well, I
and
think the
that's how I
PIO
felt.
was saying was, we went to Citizens of Cleveland to see that we're out patrolling because they went to some of the cars have the diminished graphics. See, it's just a black car with a bar on it, so you don't really know what it is. I'm thinking, okay, so why don't we go back to black and whites? And it's just, I don't know. It's really trendy right now. And to me, I saw that this week and it just really got under my skin.
Yeah. I mean, when I hear that citizens are like, I don't see police in my neighborhood, I automatically brush that off because,
Yes,
like,
keep going.
because
Because
I
you're the
mean,
community relationships guy. Tell me about it.
I was community policing person for fuck 20 plus years, like I can't tell you how many times I would turn around and go to a community meeting and they'd be like, "Well, the police are never in my neighborhood." How do you know? How do you know?
Do you look out
No,
the window?
I never see them. I'm like, okay, well, I never see the air, but I know it's there. Like my thing is, and I used to turn it back on top of them. I'd go, how many times have you called the police? Well, I don't call the police. I don't call the police. Okay. Well, if you don't call, we don't come. That's how it works. Yeah. And the way that we work as far as strategic deployment is the more people that call in a neighborhood, that is a heat map. Mm-hmm. We have a high call for service in Sector 1. We're going to spend a lot of time in Sector 1.
Yeah, doing proactive stuff.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, I don't feel like calling all the time. Okay, then shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and stand in the back of the room. Drink the free coffee, eat the free fucking donuts, and shut the fuck up.
And don't take
instead,
my GoPro.
We placate citizens that do that stupid shit with having lights on the back of the car constantly. Mm-hmm. And like I would have loved to have been in the conference room when that fucking idiot came up with that idea in Cincy, in Cleveland. I mean, like, you got so many other fucking problems to worry about. Like, how do you have time for that shit? Like, I just, it astounds me. I wish I could put a hidden camera in some of these conference rooms where decisions are being made, where these folks are like, this is the greatest new idea. No, it's not.
No, that's to me, it's like a half thought.
Yeah.
And the half thought is going from the low intensity steady burn, like DC Metro, right? Because you can always look up in traffic. Oh, there's a police officer up there. Versus having the rear light bar on to where it's flashing. Like the early analogy is, if I'm sitting there in traffic and traffic's moving slow and I see a flashing light bar, I'm like, oh, we have a crash. Oh, wait a minute.
I got to go around them. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm going to immediately go find another route. But just for visibility purposes, I think they were halfway there. And I think they're like, well, our light bars don't have steady burn. Oh, so instead of reprogramming them, we're just going to leave them on because that's a simple solution.
Leave strobes on so we can give people seizures.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, we do our night drive in the morning, and I was running the violator car, right? And oh my God, yeah, because it's dark out, and then my rear view mirror is bing 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 bing. I mean, you spin anyway because you're in the violator car for pit. And then you got the blinky lights going. Man, I tell you what, by the time we got done, I was green. I was nauseous. And it was, normally it doesn't bother me, but man, with the lights on and then the darkness and the spinning, and I'm like, well, as Danny Glover said, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? DC Metro has the lights on in the back of the car, right? That's so as you're getting stabbed and shot to death, you can see it go away from you. That's the light everybody's talking about.
As you're laying there.
Yeah, you're doing this.
Oh, me.
Fucking
As
DC.
the cops going home for lunch.
Yeah.
Nope, Trump's cleaned that up, man, supposedly. I haven't been there since, but I'd like to go down to Police Week and see how it is.
I was
That's
there.
why
I told you.
Every time I went down to DC. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over here.
No, you're good. I've been down there, and it's definitely a lot better. Lot better.
Awesome. From someone who used to live there, that's a great analogy.
Oh yeah, man. Like, nothing like having homeless people laying all over the fucking place, pissing all over the ground, graffiti all over.
We stayed at a hotel one year that was across the street from. It was, I think the Mint. Anyway, it was something Secret Service there because they had uniformed Secret Service out on the sidewalk, keeping these assholes away from that building. Well, they came across the street and were sleeping in front of the hotel we were staying in. And we used to call this one guy Ballsack because the crotch of his pants was ripped out and literally had his nuts hanging out every time you fucking seen him.
Oh, like, I thought I was the only one that wore my pants that way.
It's a fashion statement. It's called Nick's Nuts Out.
Yeah, you see, you start a trend and then everybody copies you.
That's funny on so many different levels. So, speaking of Florida, Hillsborough County, Florida. Did you see that?
No, which
down
thing?
Hillsborough County. Did you see the sheriff was on and he was talking about how his command staff were...
Oh, the cheating scandal.
Yes.
Do you think that's the reason why he didn't accept the DEA position? Remember, he was the one that Trump nominated for DEA, head of the DEA, and it was really odd because he accepted it, and then like this was towards the beginning, like before Trump, or maybe just right after Trump got sworn in. He came on, that sheriff came on and was like, I respectfully decline. So I think he knew something was coming. I think he knew he wasn't going to pass.
He wasn't going to get through confirmation.
No, confirmation was going to be brutal, and then he'd perjure himself if he testified that he knew nothing about this cheating scandal, which I think is bullshit, because that is a scandal at epic proportions, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why they were cheating. Again, changing the standards to staff the problem, and I don't know why he's having a hard time staffing. Like, you look at Grady Judd, the guy's fucking beating people off with a stick. So
yeah, everyone wanted to come down there and go to work. Well, and there again, I mean, Sheriff Judd is very outspoken, but he's saying what we're all thinking.
Yeah,
we have Sheriff Jones here in Ohio, Butler County. He's very outspoken, and the people that work for him are like, he's just down to earth. You fuck up, you choose your ass, and then we're done.
Right.
And that's the way it was when I first started in law enforcement. But this cheating scandal is what weren't they having others? Someone else they paid someone to write their papers.
Yeah.
Is that what I was reading this article here? That
yeah.
Where's it from here? Fox 13 News in Tampa was the one that I was watching, and they went up wherever this person was and interviewed the guy. He's like, oh yeah. That's how they found out he was writing more papers, which is kind of the fallacy, I think, between online degrees, because I know in my experience where people were paying others to go into their, where you got to interact with the other students in the room, it was like a big chat room. I know when I was doing it with, when I was trying to work on my degree with Tiffin University, I just thought, this is the stupidest thing ever. This is an absolute waste of my time to engage each person individually in those whatever, like, oh, well, that and the free flow of thought, and it's, and then I had one person say, actually online degrees are harder than just go sit in a fucking seat, because you can literally sit in the seat. As long as you pass the test with a 71, you're going to pass the course, right?
Right.
So the guy's, one of the, and I think he was a professor at Wright State. He said, no, online you do twice the work, but everyone thinks it's easier because you're sitting at home. Anyway, back to it. They were paying a guy to sit there and interact and do the bullshit papers and all that, and they were just taking the tests and moving along and then receiving the degree. So I think this is kind of a bigger thing than what's going on there in Hillsborough County. But at the same time, if you're in a position of trust and you're in a position of management authority, that's not the time to be doing that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Because as we know very well, everyone's looking to knock you off.
Yeah. How many did
any little thing?
I think they.
I think it started at the undersheriff to the chief deputies. There was quite a few.
Jesus. And there's no, you can't tell me that the sheriff didn't know about it. I mean, even if he didn't know about it, it's the head of the agency that's got to take the hit too. Like,
no, sure,
he's an elected official, so like you'd have to have DeSantos knock him off, like the sheriff up in was it Broward? No,
Broward County.
Yeah, that one, the guy, the sheriff that got arrested, and his wife got arrested for something. I can't remember what that was, but that's an episode that we have to do, because that guy got arrested in uniform. The sheriff, the actual sheriff. I think he was a sheriff like of the county, Daytona Beach, I want to say.
Yeah, it's Broward, isn't it?
Is it Broward? I think you're right. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
I haven't been here long enough to know all these counties. I just,
it's like most sheriffs, they all get in trouble because of, they get indicted because of improper property room.
Oh, property room. Yeah. I could
Yeah.
see that. I could see that.
That gets a lot of people in trouble because of destruction of property or, oh, well, that's still good. We might as well use that. No, it was ordered to be destroyed,
Yeah.
not
See,
resold for your benefit, dude.
yeah, I
So,
mean, I got a lot of bad things to say about my old agency, but our property was always squared away. Like you couldn't fucking get in there. It was like Fort Knox, and they were religious. Like every 30 days, I would get a notice for
mhm,
items that needed to be reviewed for destruction. And it would
mhm.
always be pissed off. Like I would fucking come in for my midnight shift, and there'd be this fucking notice in my mailbox saying, "Hey, you have," because I put a lot of shit in property, bro. Like I probably spent
All this
10% of my
weed and these
career.
pipes and
Everything, bro. Like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna need this fucking stuffed animal, but fuck it, I'll put it into property. Like it was just stupid shit. And then you turn around and you learn, you're like, do I really need to put this laptop into property? That's this vehicle's getting impounded. Fuck it, I'll put it in the trunk because you don't want
right.
to fucking put shit in property, because
Exactly. Yeah,
it's such a
secure it there
pain in
at
the
the tow
ass.
yard, so hopefully it doesn't get stolen.
Yeah, when I
But you know that
started, it was all paper. Like there was nothing automated. Now it's
right.
automated. So
Well, and that's why a lot of those property rooms were a fucking mess because you got a guy in there that's not very detail oriented. Now, my old agency, we had a great guy who was very detail oriented. I mean, the guy
that's
was
what you
anal
need.
retentive to it. That's right. He was anal retentive to a fault.
You need
And
that.
he was
Yeah.
very, 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 very disciplined when it came to that. And my thing is, we used to tell my officers, if you don't want to get these property room notices, stop taking shit. Think
Yeah.
about how you're doing your job.
Yeah.
And just like what you said, I might need this stuffed animal. Why? Do
You
I
learn
actually
quick.
need this?
Yeah.
Yeah. How is
You learn
it
quick.
going to help me prove my case? It's the difference of, okay, so you're proving an underage consumption case,
Yeah.
right? Do you need the whole 12 pack of Bud Light, or can you just take a vial of alcohol,
Picture of it,
and take a photo of it?
Yeah.
And here's how do you know it's alcohol? Because I poured it out of one of the cans that they possessed, and you can test and say, oh yeah, it's alcohol.
The
We never
one,
got to that case, but you had to be prepared for it.
yeah, the ones that were always the trick bags with the firearms went to destroy firearms because
Oh yeah.
I always sat on them. I think our policy in Virginia was after 2 years you can destroy a firearm, and then
Mhm.
my problem with that is that doesn't take into consideration the statute of appeals on a gun charge. And I
Right.
was always concerned about striking that check mark of destroy a firearm, because I was always concerned that it would be brought up on appeal and now I don't have the firearm anymore. And we're not talking about, like 10 days in jail. We're talking about folks that are serving 5+ years in jail on a gun charge.
Right.
I
But
must
then you
have
do a
had,
ballistics test to ensure that it fired, and these are the
yeah,
striations from the projectile. You had all that still, but if the gun's gone,
the
you still have all
physical
that.
gun. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Those were the ones that, fuck, I don't even know what they did with all the fucking guns and all the property that I put into property after I left. Like, I wonder what they do. They probably just destroy everything because
Yeah,
you're
they just
fucked
put them on a
anyway.
bandsaw, put them on a metal saw, and cut them in half, and throw them
Yeah.
in the metal scrap.
My
It's
department
just
was
game.
so old. It was pretty
Mhm.
cool. They had a Tommy gun from the early 1900s, and they had it in a
Ooh, that'd be cool.
glass display. Like they got a special disposition from the Commonwealth Attorney and from the Chief of Police to be able to take it out of property, because it was so old. Like it was,
Right. It's
it
historic.
was,
It's a
yeah.
relic.
So, but they had like a lot of historical stuff in our property because it was such an old department. Like I think the
Oh, yeah.
department started in like, I don't know, 1860 or some shit. I don't know. Like they were using fucking lanterns and fucking
Billy clubs and horses.
billy clubs and shit, and they wore like a wool coat as their uniform. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, we got to do that one day. We got to do an episode of old school policing. Like, what were the uniforms like? Like, we're sitting
Right.
here fucking bitching about, oh, I want to get tactical vests. These motherfuckers were wearing wool uniforms in the summer. That's
Yeah.
insanity. That's insanity. And nobody thought back then to be like, I want to be tactical. They were more like, see, we want to
It
be
was all about the
consistent.
image.
Yeah. It
It
was
was
very
all about the image.
professional, you know.
There was
So
an agency here in go ahead.
you could take briberies and it wasn't bad.
Sorry.
The good old days.
Yeah, that's what we were talking. We did Gary Mel, and Gary, if you're listening, we still want to interview you.
Yes. Get on it, Mel.
Yeah, get on a Mel video. So we were doing that as part of advanced training, and I was talking about how fun it was being a cop in the 90s. And it's like, there's only like one or two people in the room now that were cops in the 90s, old bastards like us. I said, but sadly, is the policies of today is because of the fun we had back in those days.
Yeah.
And but instead of being restrictive, humans are still humans. And I think the people that are really successful as cops don't treat everybody with that heavy hand. And to get back to where we were starting the show on is that you don't need a heavy hand to get the right behavior you want. We don't have to issue that paper. The problem is that those toxic people that were the test takers are now in the ones that are in charge, and they're requiring that. Well, you have to, record that misconduct. Is it really misconduct?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're stealing from the department, yes. But if you swear on the body cam or whatever else, hey, watch your mouth, man. We shouldn't have to talk about this. Or quit making mountains out of molehills. I think swearing in an excited situation, instead of saying, sure, please cease and desist, where, hey, man, shut the fuck up. That has a different punch to it, right?
Yeah.
You have to be the aggressor. When you're walking into a domestic and you have two volatile people right there, and you need to be the person that needs to get control of the situation, then calm it down. Getting that control is the important part first. And sometimes we have to say coarse words. And that was always the argument I had with my boss. And he would say, well, you just swear to make yourself feel better. Where the fuck did that come from? No, I swear all the time, especially at the time. I said, look, if you ain't talking to these people in the language they're used to, they think you fucking weak.
Yeah.
And I think that's the truth.
I mean, I agree with you. I've said it a million times on the show, and you and I agree on it, which is a good cop knows when they fucked up.
Absolutely. No, you couldn't.
I think
that's perfect. That's perfect.
I think I had 9 reprimands or 9 sustained investigations in my whole entire career at APD. Never fought one of them. Never fought one. Never turned around and said, fuck this, I'm not signing it. I never did any of that stuff.
Right.
And I think that's where my disdain for the department came when the final investigation came and I fought it, where I was like, this is not right. Forget about the other 9.
Bullshit.
Yeah, forget about the 9 where I acknowledged that I did something wrong. It's this one trumped up bullshit. And now you're pissed. Now you're going to hit me with untruthfulness. Like that's just stupidity. And it creates it creates a culture of I'd rather ask for forgiveness later than permission now. And that's what we're turning into. And that's why you're getting a lot of officers like the IA guy talks about it, which is, you get a lot of people that are like, I'm fucked either way. So why would I cooperate with you? They got a point.
Right. And if you find yourself, Marlon Mariachi, he's the IA guy, go check him out. He's a great guy.
Great.
We had a lot of fun with him on the show. You do have rights as a patrol officer. If you find yourself in IA, don't walk in there blind. And I'm telling you right now, no one's your friend. You're out there on an island by yourself, but you need to understand there's a policy and procedure manual and there's a contract. And just because you're going to flex your rights or utilize your rights as a union employee doesn't mean you're guilty of anything. Well, you wouldn't fight it if you weren't guilty. And they tell you this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's part of the manipulation when you first become an officer. It's like, why do lawyers go in and defend people and plead not guilty when they know they're guilty? Right or wrong isn't any of it. It's a matter of proving their point.
Yeah.
And that's what you people have to realize, because we're the protectors. And we're the guy that goes into that domestic and says, you need to calm the fuck down because I'm in charge now. You imagine coming to my fucking house, some motherfucker telling me that? Oh, fuck you. But you have the authority to do that. And the people that have that authority over those people, they need to walk that line very fine. And some of them that are so toxic that they're the ones, the disciplinarians of the disciplinarians, I think they come off the word they're like a deity.
Yeah.
They need to wield that power very cautiously. So you do have rights as an employee. You do have the right to remain silent. You don't have to talk to them unless you're properly represented. And it's like what I said during my investigation. Oh, I'm here to cooperate. I got nothing to fucking hide. But if we're going to have this conversation, these three people need to be in the room as well.
Yeah.
And the deputy chief at times like, oh, well, Mark the cop lawyered up. That is not at all what I said. Liar.
Yeah.
No, what I said was, yeah, let's sit down and have a talk because I want to clear this up as soon as possible. Yep. And with that mindset, then they went and did A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Which, in like in my case, dig your heels in and you don't have to cooperate. Oh, we want to interview. We wanted to do a proffer interview they wanted to do with me. I'm like, you don't have any charges over me.
Yeah.
Why are you even calling it a proffer? So my lawyer's like, well, basically it's like, we're going to hang up 3 nooses and which one are you going to put your neck in?
Yeah.
I said, I'm not being compelled to do this by anything, am I? And he's like, no. Then I'm not doing it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Why would I walk in and willingly, because people are, some of these interviewers are very good at what they do.
Mine wasn't.
Saying things, right. But you saw the handwriting on the wall.
Oh,
and
dude,
I think your decision was respectable. It's like, this is a losing game. Yeah. And the best way to play the game with some of these people is to walk off the field.
Yeah. Well, first fuck with them a little bit, like I did.
Well, yeah, of course you had fun with them. You even had, you said a captain that was yelling at you?
Yeah, fucking captain yelling at me, turning beet red with his Irish fucking pale skin. Fucking Dennis the Menace, fucking idiot. And it just, I'm hearing you talk and something dawned on me because we're both now in the professional field. Those people that have what they perceive as that power, like that captain that I'm talking about, man, they are going to have a really, really difficult time when they get out of law enforcement because they will never, ever have that control. So I hope these people retire and don't have to find another job because they're going to find it very, very increasingly difficult to get into the professional world and make real money with that kind of stupidity. But
they lack good human skills, and that's why being a realtor now, you still need to have that good human skills. You need to have that empathy and compassion and the willingness to help and serve. And that's why I was like, why is all these cops getting into real estate? It's like, it's the same job.
Yeah.
Look at Mike the cop. I mean, that guy, he got on law enforcement because he's making a shit ton of fucking money right now.
Yeah.
That's why he's not doing cop memes anymore because he don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And good for him. And good for everyone that's doing it. Like the Kelly, she's rocking it right now.
Crushing it.
Yeah, absolutely. As well as my wife and I's real estate business has taken off, and it's just like, it's like with my training, I did training because I enjoy it, and now it's like, this is really getting to be a fucking pain in my ass.
Yeah.
A little confession this weekend, I've worked 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah,
my daughter had to remind me. Oh, I know, it's stupid, right? You're like, what are you doing today? And you're working today? You're like, yeah, even Sunday. But, we did SFSTs at the college, and we had our big class, or advanced driving instructor, which is a 9-day. And I worked that weekend, and then the next weekend driving. And it's like, fuck this, and still juggling my business. It's like, something's got to give. And it's the power to say no. And so, unfortunately, I'm probably going to be having that talk with my commanders. Like, look, man, this next schedule, this next calendar coming up, I'm not going to be on it. I love what I do, but everyone has their limits, and it's
good
time
for you for recognizing that.
Right, because I'm retired, for Christ's sakes. I don't need to work this hard. And why? And well, it's because of that. Hey, we need you. Blah blah blah. But it's self-care first.
Absolutely.
what we're talking about is, do you have the skills to be able to go out and survive after being on the job? And there's where some police officers don't, because they're in that mindset of when they were working. And then you can say, especially in the real world, you get out and try and function within, I'll say, private practice, not like you're a doctor or a lawyer, but you go out and have that attitude when you go to work for like a major corporation, they're going to show you the door really quick.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it at the company that I'm at. We get a lot of former law enforcement that come in, and they can't make it in the corporate world. They're just too abrasive, or they have a one-dimensional mindset of problem solving, and that's not what
that's a good statement.
Yeah, that's not what the corporate world is looking for. Especially coming off of the anti-cop movement and everything, you got a huge mountain to climb. Huge. Especially the more money you make, the higher the expectation is, and you need to have that three-dimensional mindset. And people don't. Like, they come out of law enforcement and they're like, I'm going to ask you, tell you, and make you. It ain't like that in the corporate world at all. It is,
not at all.
How do I get my team together and accept my vision, but understand that probably only 50%, if you're lucky, of my vision is going to creep through, because everybody has to own a piece of the pie. And that's a big change, man. That's a big change for people. But what's not a big change is getting your jerseys at jerseys4sale.com.
Nice segue.
Yes. The great folks over there, Rob and Kim, even though last episode I called her Wendy.
It's all right. You call me Mike too. So
yeah, I do. I have a real big problem with names. Head on over to Jerseys for Sale and use the promo code RCR and get yourself a discount. This is the last episode, so make sure you put a comment in the YouTube video, because Robert is going to select a lucky listener to receive a free jersey from commenting on the last 3 episodes. Just need to pay shipping and handle. Don't be a cheap fuck. And
if you're feeling a little hairy,
don't forget Manscaped.com.
Manscaped.com.
Use promo code RCR. All right. And with that, we're going to wrap it up, folks. This is another fine OCD episode.
But Nick, what if we want to get a hold of you? How do we do that?
You can reach me at Nick at Roll Call Room, or my esteemed colleague, Mark. Yeah, this medication's really kicking in. MARC, not K stupid, MARC at rollcallroom.com. Mark, take it away, close us out, put a bookend to this wonderful, masterful episode.
Again, take care of one another. Midnight Dogs, we appreciate you. And I think everybody appreciates the Midnight Dogs. We're the group of officers that work overnight that everyone hates. I don't want to say hates. Underappreciates. Envies. Yeah, well, and when I first got in law enforcement, man, those guys that work midnights were just the badasses because they got into all the hardcore stuff. And then when I started working midnights, I'm thinking, they're actually the smart guys, because you don't work as much as day shift guys do, and you get to all the big stuff.
Yeah.
But again, take care of one another. Daggone allergies. Family first. It's life work balance, not work life balance. Faith, family, friends, favorite activities. And keep listening to the Roll Call Room.
All right. That's a good one, Mark. All right, folks. Be safe and reach out if you need. And we'll see you on the next one.
From the court to the field, we've got what you need. Every team, every color, every fan guaranteed. High quality threads, fashion meets the game. Jerseys for sale, remember the name. legends of the past to the stars of today. When you want the look, when you want it first, jerseys for sale, quench your fashion thirst. Jerseysforsale.com, where the players shine. Men's sports jerseys, the best you'll find. Passion for the game, stitched in every seam. Wear the style, wear the pride, wear your team. Jerseysforsale.com, where the players shine. Men's sports jerseys, the best you'll find. Passion for the game, stitched in every seam. Wear the style, wear the pride, wear your team. On the court, in the stands, or out with your crew, we've got the jersey that's perfect for you. Not just a shirt, it's the way you belong. Jerseys for sale, quench your fans are strong. On the court, in the stands, or out with your crew, we got the jersey that's perfect for you. Not just a shirt, it's the way you belong. Jerseys for sale, where the fans are strong. Jerseysforsale.com, where the players shine. Men's sports jerseys, the best you'll find. Fashion, passion, all rolled in one. Jerseys for sale, where the game lives on.